a second leg comeback in Barcelona next week. That goal, was it about the vision of Messi, or could it have been avoided from a United point of view? Talk us through it, Graham.
No, it was about Messi's brilliance, awareness. I mean, what they're doing here, they're passing it side to side. They're trying to move the back four, back five of United, and they're trying to lull them into a sense of, yeah, we're secure here, and then a quick pass catches him out. But watch Dal at the top of the picture. He thinks he's going out to the right. He's already jogging out there. He doesn't need to go. Delightful dink in by Busquets. Messi, and we'll show it from another angle, his first touch is great, but he can't possibly know that Suarez has pulled to the far post. Watch, we'll freeze it. That's as much as he gets a look at it. And watch the next touch. He just dinks it up to the far post, and he got lucky after that with a deflection off Shaw. But his head's down all the time, Messi. He's just thinking into an area where he thinks his mate will be, and Suarez was. But it's just an awareness to where you are on the football pitch.
Is that like the computer of his brain? He just takes two little bits of information and puts them together.
I would imagine he sees the lines on the pitch, so he knows where he is in relation to the goal. And this is Suarez fighting for the ball. Smalling gets a half clearance on it, continual following up with a great strike and a great stop from De Gea. At 2-0, that would have been.
That could have been tie. Yeah, been a tie almost over. It is the first time Opta, who do the stats, began collecting them in 2003, 2004, and it's the first time since then that Manchester United have failed to get a shot on target in a home Champions League game. And as McTominay and Smalling said, they did cause Barcelona problems, but it was, I think the phrase you guys used when we were watching it was huffing and puffing.
Yes, it was a bit. They pressed and they lifted the crowd. It was good on that side, and they put themselves in faces. They got further up the pitch. They were braver, and they had that great chance where, you know, a really poor effort of heading the ball. He gets in way too far in front of it, and this was the bit that they're talking about, you know, McTominay, that they should have maybe got a goal, but it was snatching at things. It was poor header, poor contact there that hits near his knee or his shin than the boot. And, you know, he was a little bit down at this stage. Great ball played through, and he just missed controls. And that was typical of anything that was, you know, resulting in the press. They were getting hold of it, and they were getting themselves into a half-decent position, but no quality. Everything broke down, and then, of course, Barcelona, they'd get back into it then, keep the ball, and it was tough.
And they sort of smothered them then with possession in the classic Barcelona style. I think we have a sequence here, which we've done a little bit of the Benny Hill on, in terms of speeding it up, but it's 46 passes that ends in a chance for Suarez.
And they did this 3 or 4 times in the game, just to take the sting out of the game. And they're brilliant, you know, they make you run around, chase shadows, you can't get anywhere near them. This ends up with a great ball from Semedo, the right back for Barca, for Suarez, who should hit the target. It's coming up, I promise, I really promise. It is coming up. But he ends up with a lovely little dink inside from Semedo to Suarez, and he ends up going near post where he should go across the goalkeeper. You sure it was only 46?
Yeah, here it is now.
So this is a great little ball here, great movement from Suarez. Now go across the goal now, but he doesn't. He goes for the near post.
I mean, some goal, isn't it? I mean, we were...
Even at normal pace, that must be brain scrambling to...
Yeah, to play against. You're trying to hold your line, you're trying to be disciplined, but, you know, the little bit of magic at the end to get in behind after all that taking of the
It must be so frustrating to play against.
Yeah, very hard. You're trying to work from side to side, shift, and it was, you know, it was a joy to watch.
But see, they find themselves 1-0 up, Barca. For me, they find themselves 1-0 up, so there's no... The obligation is not to go forward and get a second goal. If it happens, great, but let's make sure we don't concede. So that allows United to come into the game in bits and bobs without being threatening. On 3 or 4 occasions, they had passing movements like that, and just, you know, it just shows their class. You know, if it had still been, I always felt looking at the game over 90 minutes that Barca had another gear. Right.
Because you could argue maybe at times, and we were talking about why we were looking at the game, that, God, you know, Barca, they don't look great in this situation. That, as Niall said, when United got into their faces and upset the defenders, that this is not a vintage Barcelona side. But you said that you feel that they could have gone to another level.
Yeah, I think being 1-0 up, you know, we've all been in that situation. You're 1-0 up, you know, we don't have to get another goal. You're away from home on a big European night. We'll take this. Let's not. And psychologically, you end up, instead of the first stop going forward when you're chasing something, is to hold your ground or indeed take a step backwards. And they were just happy to keep possession, happy with 1-0. And the way they've played this year, the way they've dominated their own league, the way they've played in that competition sometimes, tells me they have another gear. And I thought, Man United, that's as... it's not as good as it could give. You've got to be a bit more threatening with the players are, but you can't fault them for effort. They're honest guys.
Yeah.
And he's getting the most out of them, but it's not enough at this level. In this competition at this stage.
Yeah, quick one to Brian on this one. I know you were focusing on the Ajax-Juventus game first, but it means a season where United's home Champions League records is defeats to Juve, PSG, and to obviously Barcelona tonight. A scoreless draw with Valencia, and Marouane Fellaini's 91st minute goal against Young Boys is the only goal that the United fans have seen in the Champions League. Is it suggest obviously bigger problems there at United?
Yeah, I think it was forgotten. First of all, they got through the group with Mourinho as the manager. The football wasn't very good. Scrapped out winning the away match with Juventus, a couple of lucky goals laid on set pieces. But generally, the mood was the football was awful, and the manager didn't get on with the players, and nobody liked them. And now then it became all sweetness and light, and 11 wins and 12 games and so on, and 14 wins out of, I think, the first 18 matches. Now we've a bit of a slump. We've 4 defeats in 5 games. The football has not been so good. So maybe the players, as a group, irrespective of who the manager is, aren't good enough. They're still in this tie at 1-0, but it'll be harder to overturn against Barcelona than it was against PSG. Kehrer set them up well with the opening pass for Lukaku.
Problems for United, no matter who's at the wheel. Very quickly, in a word, any chance next week for them?
A small chance. They're a never-see-die group, and you've always got a chance, but I think it's a step too far for them.
OK, up next, the main moments from tonight's other